Is it time to upgrade your spirit guides so that you have the highest version of your greatest life helpers? When should you upgrade? You don't want to upgrade your spirit guide if you don't even know them. So if you're like, well, I don't know my joy guide, let's upgrade. Because they want you to know who they are in their first incarnation. They're coming to you in this incarnation for a reason. You might not know that you knew your spirit guides as a kid. You might have thought like that your stuffed unicorn was real. Well, that's your spirit guide. Do they have any feelings one way or another about getting upgraded? If you've decided that you need to upgrade your spirit guides, you've decided that this is the time to do it, and you want to do it because you feel like you need more help, you could use more help, and you already know the spirit guides that you want to upgrade, then I can show you how to do it. Welcome to 5D Channels and Chats with Rachel Chamness. As a shamanic channel and mentor, I'll be sharing wisdom and healing from higher dimensions through channeling beings of light. You will also hear liquid Reiki shamanic sound healing, channels between intuitives, and discussion on higher dimensional healing and channeling. You'll find links and more in the show notes, so be sure to check them. You can find me at soundwavesheal.com and my Facebook group, 5D Daily Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions. Hi, I'm Rachel Chamness. I'm at soundwavesheal.com, and I love to help lightworkers just really connect to beings of light and channel them. I really think this is a really important part of ascension. So I love to teach trance channeling, shamanic channeling. I love to teach psychic Reiki healing is my Reiki and light language. And I love to teach people just how to channel because I just think it's really important. And I think that spirit guides are really, really important. Why should you get to know your spirit guides? Well, because they can change your life. That spirit guides are, your helpers in this life. Spirit guides, you have so many. You have at least 5 or 6 in your inner band of spirit guides who help you every day. And if you get to know them, if you can really channel them deeply, that's why I start with your spirit guides for trance channeling when I teach beginners trance channeling. And I still have some times left in my Friday class for this month. A Tuesday class, I think, is now full. But it's just so nice to learn and communicate with them and have them just guide you in every way. So you have 5 or 6, or you could have 7 or 8 inner band guides, but then you could have so many more after that. Outer band guides, you could have 100 of them. You could have 200. You can have so many, but everyone has spirit guides. And it makes me so sad when people say, oh, I just have one spirit guide, or maybe I don't have spirit guides. Like that is definitely not true. Everyone has spirit guides and you have lots of them. So, but then there's sometimes when you need to upgrade your spirit guides. Is it time to upgrade your spirit guides so that you have the highest version of your greatest life helpers? That's what this is about. Do you know that you can do this? You can upgrade your guides. So let's talk about it a little bit. When you are a kid and you may know your spirit guides, and you might not know that you knew your spirit guides as a kid. You might have thought like that your stuffed unicorn was real. Well, that's your spirit guide coming to you as the unicorn. So probably they got your parents to, or someone to like, this would be perfect for Rachel, like bring that to you as when you're a kid. Or it could be a stuffed bear. I had a lot of stuffed bears, and I have a lot of bears in my spirit guides too. So it could have been that, or you could have been like, I used to talk to this giant friendly spider that no one else could see. Or, I used to talk to this kid named Kenny, you had the imaginary friend, you had these spirit guides when you were a kid. Then you grow up and you could access them like that, but really it's time for them to upgrade because you've upgraded. So they were just the perfect version of themselves to what you needed at the time. And even when you go to meet your spirit guides for the first time, you can be a little nervous about it, especially if you're doing it in a channeling class like I teach. So if you're a little nervous about it, they might show up as an animal or something just a little more approachable for you to channel them, and then later they'll upgrade. So that happens a lot too. And when I first met some of my spirit guides, like my joy guide is a polar bear, and forever I just thought he was going to change into something else, and he never did. And I found out that polar bears are elementals, so it makes so much sense. But I have a doctor teacher who showed up as an elephant before she showed up as herself, Mother Ezra, if you've ever heard me channel her. And I had other versions of spirit guides, and I had versions of spirit guides who were amazing master teacher beings. Like Ruth is an amazing human prophet as a spirit guide, but then later she upgraded to Archangel Ariel. And then I had protector guides start out as a brown bear, then became Native American, and now has upgraded again as Archangel Gabriel. And that doesn't mean that I have 2 guides now. Oh, it kind of does. It is sort of like having 2 protector guides now. I have Bear, his name's Crouching Bear, or the Archangel Gabriel, because they're 2 sides of the same being. beings. So we all have all upgrades to ourselves. We've been all these types of beings, and we're just calling it upgrade from the third dimension because these are all different dimensional aspects of ourselves. We've been all these beings, and every soul has been all these different beings. But as we're in the third dimension, when we're calling it upgrading, we just mean that since we have come forward and we've improved ourselves, this is a version of that being who now helps a more improved us. It's not like, oh, your old hat, crouching bear. Now it's just Archangel Gabriel for me. Your old news. You can still bring them in as their other incarnations, but it's nice to have this new one. So I was taught that you could have two master teachers, for instance, or, you sometimes have more than one. And I always teach, when I teach trance channeling and channeling, I always teach that there's really no absolutes. It can be anything. I mean, there's very few absolutes. There are some, but basically don't throw anything else. It's correct. We'll find out why. We learned something new today. If you get something that's totally wild that people said it can't be, it doesn't mean that it can't be. There's really no rules that we can put on this sort of spirituality as much as we like to as humans. So like I said, as you get older and as you get wiser, it's important that you have this new experience with a higher dimensional or some sort of spirit guide that knows more about where you're at now in the position that they hold in your spirit guide band to help you. So for instance, it doesn't mean that they have to be a higher dimensional version of themselves. They might just be a different aspect of themselves that helps you with what you need help with right now in where they help. So they could be your protector guide, helping you with protection. They could be your joy guide, helping you with just joy and messaging, because your joy guide is your main messenger guide. So, it could be your doctor teacher, helping you with philosophy and helping you with the thing that you do, your most important thing that you're doing. My doctor of philosophy, my doctor teacher guide is Mother Ezra. She's a shaman, right? So I do a lot of shamanic work, and it's because of her that I do that. Okay, so I think you all know this. A spirit guide is a high vibrational being who helps us in this incarnate life, and that there can be so many of them. The galactical helpers can also be spirit guides. They just have to have been with you when you were born if they're inner band, but if they're outer band, they don't have to. So I teach a lot about this in my spirit guide masterclass. But one thing I haven't taught in that class, which is part of my free channeling package that you can get on my website, the channeling spirit guides. But one thing that's not in there is what to do when it's time to upgrade. Okay, so when should you upgrade? You don't want to upgrade your spirit guide if you don't even know them. So if you're like, well, I don't know my joy guide, let's upgrade, because they want you to know who they are in their first incarnation. They're coming to you in this incarnation for a reason. But when you're feeling like, you may need more of it. So the joy guide is a really good example, because some people say, I don't know, like my joy guide is not working because I don't feel much joy. Or like they just don't seem very joyous. Or I've had people say that before. That's a good example of, well, maybe they need to be upgraded. Maybe this is an old version of a joy guide that helped you by not being too, I don't know why a joy guide would ever not be joyous enough, but there must be some reason. Let's upgrade. Or maybe there's just, you're feeling like your protection needs more help. Like your protection, your protector guide, they've helped you so much, but you feel like you need more. Maybe you'll see if there's a upgrade there, or maybe you're just feeling it. Now, if you're already a channel, then this is much easier, right? Because if you can already speak with your guide, then they can kind of tell you when it's time to upgrade, or you'll just start to know that it's time. So basically, this is a more advanced technique is what I'm saying. You don't want to upgrade your spirit guide if you don't even know who they are yet. And if you want to learn who they are, you can get it from my free spirit guide channeling course on my site. If you want to meet your spirit guides, you can start here. So I'll teach you all kinds of stuff about spirit guides. It has a masterclass and has all kinds of attunements and meditations. And it also will introduce you to at least your joy guide. So it's very helpful. Okay, so if you've decided that you need to upgrade your spirit guides, you've decided that this is the time to do it, and you want to do it because you feel like you need more help, you could use more help, and you already know the spirit guides that you want to upgrade, then I can show you how to do it. So first, you need to make sure you're in a really good vibration. I'll give everyone a little clearing now. I don't think you'll really do it now, but you can write this down. But why not? Let's get in a good vibration together real quick. Okay, so here's a clearing for you all. And this is my protector guide coming through as crouching bear. Okay. The first thing is to make sure you are in a good vibration. Then make sure you have a sacred circle or sacred sphere. This is included in my Channeling Spirit Guides course, which is free. How to get into a sacred space. You can always find that on my YouTube channel as well. And then just take some deep breaths. You definitely want to have a ceremony. What is your ceremony? Do you have a ceremony that you do? I light a candle. I have an altar. This is part of my sacred sphere or sacred circle class that you can watch on YouTube or in the channeling guide. And I sort of call them all in. I call in my angels. I light a candle. I connect deeply into earth. I connect to my higher self. I clear my auric field. That's how I do a little ceremony before I start to do any kind of light worker work. And I really recommend that you have some sort of ceremony. So whatever that is for you, taking deep breaths and then ask, are there any guides here that need upgrading? And then be quiet. Will you get any information? If you're a channel, you're going to get some information. If you aren't there yet, then you can ask for a spirit sign. So right now I just cleared you. And if you feel like you're in a good space, you could ask that question. Or even if you're not, that's an okay question to ask, even if you're just driving or whatever. Hey, spirit guides, are there any guides here that need upgrading? Let me know. Give me a sign or tell me if you're a channel, you might hear it. And then you just ask, please upgrade my spirit guides who need upgrading to my higher frequency or to the frequency to where I'm going. Okay, that's all you have to do, but maybe not do that if you're driving right this moment. You could say, maybe please later upgrade my spirit guides. This is really important. Please upgrade my spirit guides who need upgrading to my higher frequency or to the frequency where I'm going. So if you do this pretty often, then you can also just have them upgrade you to where you're going. And know that when your spirit guides upgrade like that, you might still use both of them. So you're still getting used to the higher frequency of the new spirit guides. So like I said, they're usually in a higher frequency. And you really have to get used to each frequency that you're bringing in. That's why we always start with channeling. We start with spirit guides, or we start with fae, who are like 5 or 6 dimension. Really start with these easier vibrational beings that are already kind of a part of you, or are not like 8th or 9th or 12th dimension. Starting with angels is really going to give you like an angel hangover. It's a lot. You know, sometimes people show up for their first class for trance channeling and they bring in their first, whoever we're doing that month, their guide, and it's an angel. And I'm like, oh no, here we go. You're going from 0 to 100 in one day. And it's fine because their guides, came through that way for them to experience that way. But you just don't want to force it, I guess is really what I'm trying to say. You don't want to force your spirit guides to upgrade if they think that you need a little time. But having them upgrade to the frequency of where you're going is a really good thing, because that will really help you prepare. And sometimes when you get downloads and you upgrade, you go through the thing and you're upgrading, that there's sometimes this like friction or difficulty where you feel that it's so hard, or you're having a hard time, or it's like you're really getting used to that new frequency. And that's the same thing that you experience when you have a Reiki 1 attunement. It's like that 21 days is you getting used to the new frequency. And there's a lot of things that might not work anymore in that frequency, a lot of things that might fall away. There's a lot that could happen. It's the same sort of thing. So whenever we get used to a new frequency, we just have to give it a little time. And if we ask them to upgrade to that frequency before we get there, then at least they'll be already waiting for us there, because that's probably part of how we do the upgrade. We upgrade, our spirit guides upgrade. We got all this stuff going on. We get rid of what doesn't fit in this vibration. That's why people fall away. All of that is part of upgrading your frequency. Does anyone have questions? I see Jen has a good question. Do they have any feelings one way or another about getting upgraded? No. So that it's not like they're going to be like, oh, you think I'm not good enough? You think I need an upgrade? It's okay. No, they will help you. So you can ask them, and they might say you're not ready yet for another upgrade. I mean, I just think there's countless upgrades that we can do with our spirit guides. And I still bring in the older spirit guide. It doesn't matter. They still help me. It's almost like having two, but they're the same being. They just have different aspects. So it's a little hard to wrap your brain around, but that's how it works. I have an excerpt from my Tag Trance Channeling Mediumship course where my protector guide, Crouching Bear, upgraded to Archangel Gabriel. So this was the first time it happened, and it was just in February. It was recently, and it was so surprising to me. So I've taken a clip from that class to share with you in this podcast. Here it is. So Bear, I think, just got upgraded. When I did that upgrade for you guys, I think he just upgraded, which is, I'm surprised. Because I've only tranced him like 80,000 times. Maybe he's like, I'm so done talking. So let me see. And I think it's Archangel Gabriel, which is interesting. That makes a lot of sense. So I am seeing Bear, but here he comes. I am Bear and the protector guide for this one. And I have been here, but I will be upgrading my form to a higher version of myself. For we are all versions of ourself in many forms. Many of these forms are who we call spirit guides, and all forms that you speak with are just manifestations of Source in different ways. We are all one in so many ways that you do not know. I want you to know that your protector guides work tirelessly for you, and they are great friends and helpers that you have known before. And we only want the best for you, and even when we allow for negative interactions, it is for your highest and greatest good, to help build your tenacity, to help build your protection, to help build your information and your understanding of this life as we do. And we send you many blessings. This is Gabrielle, and I am a protector guide as well in my highest form. My message to you is that you are light workers. As you know, you stand in the light and you experience what you wish to experience in this world. A great deal of what you are to learn in this life is the importance of the law of attraction, and you attract what you wish to experience, whether it is conscious or subconscious. And so it is what it is supposed to be. And you are always on the path, whether it feels that you have strayed or not. If you feel that you are straying off the path, it is only a learning curve. And once you have learned what it is, you will feel the light on your face again. I send you all blessings. All right. I hope this was helpful. If you experienced something with upgrading your spirit guides, I'd like to hear it. Shauna says that felt great. So she probably already did it. She's in my class for trance channeling, and we often upgrade our spirit guides in the class too. I'm sure you've done it before too, Shauna. So yeah, it's just good to upgrade them. It's good to be on top of who your spirit guides are, how they help you, and just getting the maximum benefit that we can from them. They help me do everything. Literally, they've helped me build my whole career. They helped me just make so many decisions. Shauna said, yeah, she did it during this live because she had her protections already up. So that's great. Yeah, so I think spirit guides are the most wonderful help that we could possibly have. All right, well, thank you guys. Thanks for coming, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Thank you for listening today. Please follow this podcast, like, subscribe if you haven't already. We would love to have you in our Facebook group 5D Daily. And be sure to sign up for my free Channeling Spirit Guides program, which you can find under resources at soundwavesheal.com. I am Rachel Chamness, and it's my pleasure to help light workers expand their channeling to heal in higher dimensions.